evening, freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we are diving into a new sign here on Broad Coven. I felt really called to bring this in, and I'm excited to introduce Ophiuchus to the channel, which is the 13th sign of the zodiac. No longer in play very commonly nowadays, but I really am about honoring the roots of tradition with whatever format I'm working with, whether I'm studying different types of spirituality, whether I am learning about different cultures, whether I am um, studying on my path of personal growth and healing. I always like to give a nod of respect to the roots of the tradition. And I'm also, a woman of the old ways, a broad of the old ways. And traditionally, there were 13 signs because there's 13 lunar cycles, there's 13 moons. And I'm very aligned with that lunar energy. And Ophiuchus was around in the Babylonian era, okay? And everything has changed since then. And of course, there's always, movement in the cosmos because of the precession of equinoxes. So it's all mutable, it's all shifting, changing all the time. But I really felt called to bring in Ophiuchus, and the dates for Ophiuchus are November 29th through December 18th. So commonly Sagittarius, right? That's how you probably identify yourself right now. But there is a very distinct quality to Ophiuchus, and Ophiuchus is also known as the snake charmer or snake bearer. Okay. And there's very much those kind of qualities with this sign. They sort of walk the edge. They walk the edge between Scorpio and Sagittarius in terms of the energetic expression. And I just think it's a real delicious type of energy to explore on the channel, and bring that in and just see how that speaks to all of you. But I know that when I put this out there that I was going to bring this in, I received quite a bit of response from people that are excited to see Ophiuchus come in at the channel. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with all of you. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at 3 different areas of the love life. So there's a little something for everybody: single, ready to mingle, cuffed in a committed relationship, or married, spoken for in some way. And then it's complicated. It's complicated, meaning you're not sure what's going on. Maybe things are confusing. Maybe there's been some kind of turmoil. Could be, interchangeable with the other categories too. I mean, you could be single and it could be complicated. You could be in a relationship and it could be complicated, or it could just be all complicated all the time. We're going to sort through that. I will have timestamps available. I am going to shuffle for each of the different categories on film because I feel like that's important. I want you to know that we are all in this together. We're having a raw, organic experience here, and we're just going to feel it out and see what wants to come in, okay? Do be aware that when I'm referring to signs that come up in your read, it is any strong placement of that sign in the chart. So that could be Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or a loaded house. All right. So that opens up the playing field quite a bit. So the most important aspect is really going to be you tuning into your intuition, listening to how the energy is speaking to you specifically. Likewise, flip-flop roles as you need to as far as who's on what side of the table or gender or any of that, okay? I just open up to the messages as they want to come through. you know how the energy is speaking to you. All right. And yeah, I'll have the timestamps available for you after this airs. This is pre-recorded, all right? This is pre-recorded, but we're going to have a live coming up this weekend that I'm really excited about. It's something very different. It's going to be me, and I'm bringing another reader, one of my broads, Wilder Shark Teeth on, and it's going to be a very special event, some debuting of Wilder's new music too from their album that they are getting prepared to record. So really, really exciting. Then it was 6:06 on the clock when I said that. So yeah, special event. But we're both readers, so we're going to have a conversation with the cards, and it's going to be on embracing the cringe, okay? It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. I'll make an announcement about that when it's time for it, though. All right, so we are going to dive into the shuffling portion right now. And I am putting down timestamps here just so I can keep track of everything for you guys. I do recommend, that you stick around for the shuffling if you have the time to, because a lot of information comes through. Sometimes I get downloads, very often I do. And I want to be able to share that with all of you. So 7:01 on the clock. We're starting the shuffling. And it's going to open up with a channeled message, okay? Always does. Bottom of the deck energy, we have the two swords. So this is you taking some time and space to yourself. Ophiuchus collective. All right. This is in sort of the basis of the matter for all of you right now, whether you're single and ready to mingle, or you're cuffed up, or you're in a complicated situation. You are taking some space for yourself. You might have put down boundary lines. There might have been somebody that you've actually blocked, perhaps on social media. I feel like you're taking some time to yourself. There's been too much outside interference, outside opinion in your situation. Notice the blindfold. Okay, the blindfold is to prevent from being distracted by outside sources of information and instead turning within to access your intuition. This also shows that it's important for you to have this time with these two swords guarding the way. You're not going to let anybody intrude on this process. We know the emotions are involved without water in the background. There's something you're trying to come to a place of balance with inside. I feel like you're working on this a lot right now, especially with that new moon in Aquarius that just came in on the 21st. I feel like this is what you're going to be focusing on leading up to the full moon in Leo on the 5th of February. Okay. I think you're doing a lot of inner reflection before you bring forward what you learned in that time, in that space of having time to yourself. I think you've left some people on red. I think you got, the ringer off. I think you might even be dropping in, spending some time in nature. You might be well served by doing some cleansing baths, some spiritual baths, or doing some kind of cleansing rituals by bodies of water. This coming in very strongly. For cleansing baths, I always mention the basic recipe. It's an old Edgar Casey remedy, and that's 2 cups baking soda, 2 cups sea salt or Epsom salt. And you just throw that in the bath, and to that you can add anything that you are drawn to, anything that serves the purpose of what you're looking to bring in. And I will give some general recommendations sometimes, like bay leaf is one I really like to work with because it not only clears away negativity, but it tends to be a road opening type of plant. So it also brings in a lot of blessing energy. And it invites abundance as well. It opens up the flow. It just gets everything moving again in a really strong and empowering sort of way, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I like to work with that a lot. But get to know the plant allies. This is important. If you're going to work with their medicine, like get to know the plant allies, like do some research. And it was 10:33 on the clock when I said that. This might even be an important part of finding healing within yourself. Maybe you're doing some deep healing around love. Maybe you're trying to really get to the heart of the matter. Oh, that reminds me of that song, The Heart of the Matter by Don Henley. That's an old one. Um, I feel like maybe that is very much coming through the message in that song. You might want to give it a listen. Um, you're trying to get down to the bottom of it. And maybe this would be very helpful. Plant allies want to come in for you. 11:11 on the clock when I said that. Wow. Okay, synchronicity. Definitely. Something about aligning with this. The plants will help you. All right. So maybe you need to spend some more time in nature as you do this heart healing, as you get clear on where your heart is calling you, what it is you need to do to live from that place in your heart authentically. All right. I mean it very strongly. So let's get to it. Let's get to the shuffling. Okay. So we are going to shuffle for singles and ready to mingle. Ooh, right off the bat, coming out strong there. Singles and ready to mingle for Ophiuchus in love 2023. Okay. You all had a big pile, and I will tell you right now, you're coming out very strong. Like you are fully in your energy right now. You are in your energy. I feel like you're very much in this independent sort of zone, and vibing off of it, like vibing off of it, really feeling empowered within yourself. Maybe you've been also doing something like, tending to the body, tending to your appearance in some way. People are noticing you're looking good, you're feeling yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We'll get into that a bit more, okay, Ophiuchus. Now we're gonna look at cuffed Ophiuchus. What's going on for Ophiuchus that's in a committed relationship, in a marriage, in it to win it. What's going on for Ophiuchus that's in relationship, cuffed up? Oh wow. Whoo! Strong. The way that came up, I mean, it came up with such flair, okay? It just like flipped up in the middle of the deck, face up, mid shuffle. That was wild. It flipped like a pancake. Maybe you're flipping something. Maybe you're flipping the tables around. Maybe something's been going on at the bargaining table and you're flipping the tables around. You're getting your way, okay? This coming in. All right. And let's go ahead and see what's going on for It's Complicated, Ophiuchus. Is it ever really? Is it? Is it ever really? All right, we got these. These are kind of like coming out as a crossing influence, but they're heading north. All right, so I see that north as it really comes through for me right now as the nodes of destiny because they're so in play with everything that's happening with astrology right now. Okay, so we're rising up out of the Scorpio South node, which is all the shadow work, releasing the past, going to those places where we accept the deaths in our lives, the things we had to release, even our old identities, all right? And then coming to a place of really understanding ourselves more, what we bring to the table, that we can stand on that's our calling card, and feeling good about stepping into that energy, being in that empowered space and how that shifts our life. So I feel like you kind of like you're starting to align with what you feel your destiny is in matters of the heart, and you're about to go on the upswing. All right, you're stepping out of that crossroads and you're heading in some direction. You know where you're going. That's what I got for the It's Complicated pile. All right, I think I will set these aside over here, and I do want to change the banner. Let me see here. I'm going to move right into this reading. Come on. There we go. Okay, single and ready to mingle. 15:30 on the clock. All right. 6 and 3 and 0. Okay, so you're definitely aligning with somebody you're meant to be with. Okay, somebody who's a soulmate that's going to be coming into your life. You may not see it now, but you're definitely aligning with your purpose with that 6 energy. There's also a lot of healing here. You've done a lot of healing. You're ready for it. You might be nervous about that sometimes, but there's support there. There's help. There's help with coming into this alignment with the 3 energy. That means you also got a lot of spiritual help on your side, depending on how you view that. Some people, don't really relate to a concept of spirituality in terms of like spirit, that they relate more to just like one energy that runs through everything, which I can get down with that viewpoint. I have room for all of it, to be honest with you, because it is all one energy. It's just archetypal expression of different energy. um, so however you view it, whether you view it as just really being in the stream of your higher consciousness and understanding like what your next step should be, or where you need to go, who you need to talk to, what your next move is. Might be a move involved, something about that coming in, something about covering distance coming in. That's a possibility. There's also this 0 energy, which says there's a gift here, 1717 on the clock, right? Big manifestation, energy, and alignment. 2 people coming into alignment. 2 people in that center of infinity, because that's what an 8 is when you turn it on its side, right? And it's also about power. 8 is about power. And it was 1733 on the clock when I went into that. So again, 8, 33, 6, there it is again, the manifestation of your purpose, your destiny. You're stepping into it, and in matters of the heart. And that might sound very lofty, but there's a lot of grit work that goes into that. That's not something that's arrived at easily. Okay, you get put through tests to step into that. And I believe you've been through those tests and you're closing old cycles and you're ready to step into the new. Now let's actually look at the cards and see what the cards have to say. You came out really strong here, okay, with the King of Wands energy. This is your energy, okay? It is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, okay? So definitely your energy in there. You could also be dealing with somebody with one of these signs strongly aspected in their chart. I think that you went through a period where you felt very trapped, unable to act in this situation. But I think over time, you've sat with this matter and you realize that you were only keeping yourself stuck. It's about believing in yourself, that there's something that needed to shift. I feel like you needed to come into this more assertive place inside of yourself where you're really like owning who you are. Maybe you dealt with people in the past who like didn't see you accurately. Maybe they did a number on you a little bit. It was a little bit of a blow, and it took some work to get back to the place where you could be like feeling like yourself again and in your mojo. I think that you felt really trapped in the past, and felt like you just had a lot of obstacles in your way. This coming in kind of interesting. It's possible too that either you were intentionally trapped by somebody. I mean, I could see this as like binding work, okay, for those who roll that way, those of you that have familiarity with the cult, or people who move like this. I do see that in some way you were held back, you were restricted. Okay, that's not for everybody, but I bring that in at Broad Coven. We talk about occult matters on here too. We talk about everything. Okay, it's all open for discussion. That's why it's a Broad Coven. We cover a broad spectrum of energies, issues, choices over here. All right, and we make room to talk about all of it. So there can be this energy here There can be sort of like a spiritual warfare interference energy. Maybe you felt blocked by that in the past. If so, that might have been coming from somebody that tried to extend like a romantic advance toward you and you turned them down. Their ego couldn't handle it. So maybe they're trying to like block your way in moving forward toward your happiness. I feel this really strongly because there's the Eight of Pentacles behind that too. And I have to bring that in when it comes to just what I'm seeing, because these are cards that I traditionally, with that Eight of Swords coming in with the Eight of Pentacles, it's really giving me the vibe of somebody did some kind of working to obstruct you in matters of the heart or otherwise prevent you from um, going after what you really wanted. And I think it was somebody who was disappointed. They tried to make an advance towards you. You turned them down. It's not what you wanted. And they felt a little vengeful about that, to be honest with you. Again, that's not everyone's story. For others of you, I think you've been feeling just like things have been just sort of stuck at a grinding halt in terms of romantic prospects, and that's been a little frustrating for you. You also may have felt like you haven't had a lot of time or energy to go out and even bother like looking to connect with anybody because you've been very focused on your work. You've been super busy. And I think maybe you got some offers that came your way, possibly you got some offers that were extended to you, but it's not what you were wanting. I feel like you're wanting some kind of healing connection, and you may even be wanting healing with somebody. And you may have also been focusing first on healing yourself before you even felt ready for love. All of these different sort of themes can be playing out in your situation, but I see all that is about to change because what we got here is the Knight of Swords. This is rushing forward very quickly. And with the sword's energy, it's rushing forward to speak a truth. And for me, with working with these cards, I've been reading tarot for like 30 years now. And every time I see these cards, 32 years actually. Yeah, because I started when I was 18, 32 years. Every time I've seen this card in terms of love, it means a declaration of love. Somebody has been holding in what they've been feeling for so long that they can't contain it anymore, and they have to rush forward and express what's on their heart. It's dramatic, it's impetuous, it's unexpected. It was 23, 33 on the clock when I went into this. 23, that 5 energy, like really like abrupt, almost seems abrupt, but it's actually been a long time brewing. Okay. It may feel like it's an abrupt change for this person to come forward and express how they're feeling so impassioned. But the reality is they've been holding it in for a long time. And now that they don't feel obstructed, I feel whatever was blocking your way, it's been removed and you're charging forward. I also see this as like you cut the cords. Okay. So if that story resonated with you, where you felt like you were somehow, somebody was doing something to obstruct you or keep you stuck, I think that you're savvy to this stuff and you know how to work with it yourself. And I think you did some cord cutting. I think you did some release work around this. Whatever you did, you're charging forward, okay? And some of you are finding more balance in your life. You realize you've been kind of like distracting yourself with work, and it's time for you to really like start putting yourself out there if you want to connect with someone, maybe you've been keeping yourself kind of isolated, using work as an excuse. And I see you getting back out there. And as you get back out there, here comes this energy charging in. It could be you charging to somebody if you've been trying to like restrain your energy from going towards someone. This could also speak of self-restraint. Maybe you knew the time was not right. The time was not right yet, okay? And I think maybe you're seeing it's time now, okay? This could also be somebody approaching you, charging towards you. I feel it comes in through communication first, might come in through a message, okay? Unexpected message with unexpected depth, okay? That's what I got. This is going to be something that really radically changes things, okay? Let's see how it's going to change things. I'm curious. I'm going to do just clarification with the Kipper, okay? Because that was calling into you guys. Bottom of the deck here for the Kipper, we got distant horizons, okay? So I do feel like this is somebody maybe that's at a distance. Maybe you connect with them online. Maybe you have to travel to see them. Maybe that is the charging forward. You're charging forward. You're gonna go. You're gonna go like the cavalry I just heard. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but that coming in for somebody. Maybe there's some sense of urgency for you or for this person in coming towards you. Knight of Swords, air sign energy. That would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay. I also feel very strongly it's speaking as a representative of Aquarius season. The movement forward happens in Aquarius season. All right. So by some point in March, there is going to be some communication, some kind of action taken. It comes as a big surprise. All right. And it has something to do with somebody at a distance. Yes, look at it. Bottom of the deck energy. There's that 6 again, coming into alignment with your purpose. We have the Lovers. All right. And in the Kipper deck, this is about lovers, soulmates coming together. And it was 27:11 on the clock when I said that. You ended an old cycle. All right. Whatever you freed yourself from, that was the right decision. If you sometimes question that, don't question it anymore. You made the right choice. You freed yourself from something, and it's because you moved away from that energy that you're now heading into alignment with who you're supposed to be with, your true soulmate. It's actually a really beautiful energy, okay? So just give me a clarification on this. What's going to be coming in? I mean, the Lovers is pretty clear, but okay. Ooh, this is very, very spicy. You got false person, despair. Remember I told you that somebody was spurned? Somebody was spurned. You turned somebody down. They tried to offer themselves toward you. You turned them down, and they were bitter about it. And so they were trying to block your progress. Now, let's take the whole occult doing any kind of working energy off the board for a moment, and let's look at it at a different angle, which is a working all of its own. I really want people to understand this. Let's say this person was really bitter. They were really bitter about you turning them down. They made an offer. They felt like a fool. They feel like you made a fool out of them. So then they go and they start like whispering in corners. They start slandering you and telling people who you are and giving off a false impression, and it causes you problems. Soon nobody fucks with you anymore. You're having a hard time connecting with people, or they otherwise create some problem, some problem, some thorn in the paw, that now needs to be pulled out before there can be any further progress moving forward. That is also a type of binding. That is also a type of curse energy, hex energy. So you don't even need to like cast a spell per se. It can just be somebody who just felt so butthurt, man, that they felt like they needed to prevent you from moving towards your happiness. This person is about to get their karma. All right. The person who, kept you from where you're supposed to be, the person who interfered, the person who, spoke against you and caused these problems. It could be a man or a woman. Okay. It could be a man or a woman. We do have a woman here, redhead front and center, okay? We also have a man in the back, all right? It's also wearing a mask. Something about masks being worn here, you know? These people are not who they claim to be. This is very significant. They're going to be sorry they interfered. That's going to be rectified, and I don't even think that you need to worry about it. You know, because you definitely got love coming in. All right, you got love coming in, and I love it. Bottom of the deck energy here, and high honor. Okay, high honor. So where somebody like was speaking on your name and putting you down, you're gonna get some justice for that. That's what I get. It's really gonna balance out for you. And you got some declaration of love coming your way. It aligns you with your soulmate. All right. So looking good for you. Yeah, the change is coming. Look at that binding energy with the mummy on bottom of the deck of the Halloween oracle here. It's and you may have felt like this connection with this person went way back. There might be some kind of Egypt connection there. Maybe you felt like you shared a past life in Egypt or something like that. But there's some kind of change that's happened in this situation where you once felt bound up, stuck, and in despair. That person is now having the shoe on the other foot, so to speak. I mean, that's what I got. So we're just going to go ahead and get kind of an overarching theme for you in 2023 for love, singles, and ready to mingle. You Ophiuchuses out there, or would it be Ophiuchi? I don't even know what it would be plural. I like Ophiuchi though. It has kind of a cool sound to it. Has kind of a cool sound to it. All right, let's see. Overarching theme for Ophiuchus singles. All right, that was real quick. Woo! Look at that. Black cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Love it. Okay. So yeah, what first seemed like it was a rough deal, man. What first looked like it was some bad luck. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this person, thought they could hold you back with working. That's possible. There could have been some kind of thwarting work there. Ted is really talking up right now. Yeah. Okay, Ted, just a minute. Interesting. It might have looked like, you were going to be held back, but it ended up actually being this like fortunate opportunity for you. We got Black Cat, fortune meets opportunity. Where things went left with this person, it actually went right. 33 on the clock. It's almost like their delay actually served you. It actually worked in your favor. That's what I'm getting. And now you got the timelines are lining up properly for you to make the connection with the person that, you're about to go on an adventure with. It's a really cool read, man. I love that for you singles, okay? But I think you're leaving somebody out in the cold because Ted was really whining to get out, all right? And it's snowing really hard out there right now. So somebody's getting put out in the cold and maybe they're whining about it. You might hear one last, kind of objection out of them. But I think you're in a really good place, and that raw hand is about to be the one that you play to your fullest advantage. It looks really good for you in 2023. All right. 34 on the clock. So that's pretty potent sign right there. A lot of synchronicity. I almost said synchronicity. So maybe you feel like that was the problem. Like it never was lining up. The time was never right. It's about to be so right. It's about to be so right. And I feel like a little of this is also coming in for those of you who are cuffed. Let me see if Ted's ready to come back in. I don't want to leave him shut out there. Hey, baby. All right. Maybe one goes out and another comes in. It's like a swap. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Oh boy. Okay, so for those of you that are in committed relationships, we have justice. All right. So, first of all, I want you to know that whatever you are dealing with, do not worry. Okay. I know you've been worried, but you don't need to worry because with justice showing up right here, it ensures that whatever you're going through, you're going to find the balance. Okay. You're going to find the balance and that things will turn out in a fair and just manner. I think that you have really been having to fight for your relationship. That's what I feel with this Seven of Wands. I think there's been a lot of opposition. Maybe there's people who have a problem with your relationship. Maybe there's people who are trying to get at your person, you know? Um, there's some kind of combative energy here. It could also be like problems within the family, you know, that are causing a rift between you and your person. But I see that you've had to really like take a stand on something that's a non-negotiable for you. This may have also been that one person in the relationship wanted to open the relationship or maybe was entertaining multiple people. And this is something that came to light, and you really had to take a stand and say, like, this is a no go for me. Like, it's either me and you or, I'm out. I do feel a lot of interference energy here, though. It's that same kind of like trying to block, trying to come between. Um, I think there was something where you really had to take a stand for yourself. It caused you a lot of worry with the Nine of Swords here. You may have been having trouble sleeping. It might be bringing up some really old stuff for you, actually, from a long time ago. Like what you're dealing with in your current relationship might make you feel a way you felt when you were a kid, some traumatizing experience that you went through that it automatically sets off like your need to like defend yourself or put yourself in that space where you feel like you need to protect yourself. Maybe you were a little combative, maybe you were a little defensive. I'm also picking up that maybe somebody has been dealing with sort of some unhealthy stuff around this on the home front. Somebody is abusive, potentially physically abusive, but definitely verbally abusive, very combative. There's been a lot of fear and anxiety around this and how to extricate yourself from the situation. I'm feeling it. This like really the energy is really heavy with this right here. And I understand it's not everybody's story, but it's somebody's. And if you're dealing with something along these lines, please get help. Or maybe you're worried about somebody that you think is in this kind of a position that's coming into. Maybe there's somebody that you're trying to like protect too that's coming in. You're trying to protect them from people kind of coming at them as well because they're going through something heavy. Interesting. Might have to do with them trying to like extricate themselves from some kind of relationship that's unhealthy. There's some piece of this coming in here, but there's a need for you to like take a stand, defend your position, not budge. You're holding the line. It's sort of like, this is my non-negotiable at the end of the day. And I feel like there's elements of, any of those things that I brought in that could be in play. At the very least, it's like outside opinions and interference intruding into your relationship. Somebody could also be going through something on a legal level too that's extremely stressful and trying. Some of you are fighting for your marriage, you don't want it to end in divorce, you know. It's not looking good and you're having a hard time with this. Some of you are in the middle of divorce and it's a lot heavier than you thought that it would be. You're really struggling with this. It's a huge, you're going through divorce, man. It is, I've been through a divorce. It is one of the most radical, like uprooting identity shifts you can have. It rocks you down to your very foundation. It's intense. It's an intense rite of passage. It's an intense transition. I see that things will come out fairly. Okay. There's something that's being weighed up in the balance in your situation, some kind of balance needing to be found. Some of you may have been in some kind of legal battle, though, where you've been really worried about how it's going to turn out. And this is like kind of like taking your entire focus off of your relationship. It might be causing a lot of stress in your relationship, actually, because you're just worried. You're worried about, this litigation you're in, this coming through. But there's some need to block out interfering parties in this situation. They're causing a lot of your problems in your connection, outside interference. So again, we have the same kind of blocking energy coming in. Often uh, between the piles, there's a lot of like sort of like similar thread kind of energy. Let's go ahead and do a shuffle for you with the kipper and get some more information about what's coming in, why this is such a focal point for Ophiuchus in 2023. I'm getting it's what's on the other side of it that needs to be kind of focused on right now. That may seem really hard in the moment. Okay, we got expectancy. Okay, so there is going to be something that's going to be shifting in this situation. It's not going to stay like this. This could also be finding out that somebody's pregnant, and for some reason, this causes you to really like feel like you need to move into defense mode. Maybe people are coming at you. Maybe you got somebody pregnant. You weren't supposed to get pregnant, or maybe a person got somebody pregnant or got pregnant by somebody else. This kind of energy. Oh, yeah, there's some stuff coming in here. Stuff coming in here pretty strongly. Let's see what's going on with this, okay? It's also possible that somebody lost a baby and this has been a big stress. I'm so sorry. This has been a big stress. I think that, your main objective is finding a balance in your relationship this year. It's about getting rid of interfering parties. It's about balancing things out with each other and doing what needs to be done to kind of soften, meet in the middle, because anytime there's too much oppositional energy where, there's stubbornness and one person won't budge, it can cause just an endless stalemate. Nothing moves forward, and then it keeps you in the anxiety space. All right. There's some kind of gift that's coming in for you. Ooh, you got two. That kind of came in hidden. What's behind this? Okay. So where you feel concerned, all right? You've got 33 here, all right? Where you feel concerned, and this might be about all of those issues I brought in, okay? There's some kind of gift that comes through this experience, and this is 8 energy, all right? So it is possible that you receive a tangible gift, and that this is something that changes everything. I feel like in one situation, maybe there was like a committed relationship, but there was kind of like third party interference. Maybe you got over some cheating. Maybe you've been trying to work through it. Both people have felt really defensive. It's been hard to trust each other again. But something is maybe shifting this. Maybe somebody's ready to stop being a player and they're ready to put a ring on it. They're ready to make a commitment and some kind of engagement comes through. I also feel like where you've been really worried, and you're in some kind of legal battle and that's really been stressing you out. Don't worry. I feel like almost like you get this chance, you get this get out of jail free card. All right. So, um, there's something that comes through. It's like a little bit of luck working in your favor. Um, and it frees you from this concern, the concern you've been having. So it looks like you're going to find the balance. All right. You're finding the balance, but there's a lot to overcome. And the first step in really getting clear is to get all these other people out of your business. Get them out, block them if you have to, cut them off, do what you need to do. But it's so important that you don't let other people interfere any further than they already have, because that's what's convoluting your situation. And when you and this person can sit down and meet eye to eye and come to that meeting ground in the middle with each other, you'll be able to work through this, close that old cycle and start a new one. Okay. And it was 46:33 on the clock when I said that. Right. So that is definitely like ending the old cycle, beginning a new. You've got help on hand for this. And, there's investment here, obviously, like whatever you all have been going through, it's been really heavy, but you also really love each other. And there is a sense of commitment there too. Okay. And I also feel like those of you who are going through like a gnarly divorce, like there's a gift that comes through this as well. I feel like it has a purpose, despite how painful it is. It's actually aligning you with who you are meant to be with. Okay. There is a gift that will make it all make sense at the end of the day when it comes out in the wash. All right. There's a happy ending to this story. Just stay tuned for it. All right. It's going to take some time to sort. All right. 47:30. We're going to go into it's complicated. And it feels like there's a little bit of complication, in all the piles. And this is kind of like, this is typical. Certain themes can run through. Oh, oh boy. Yeah, I feel like it's a similar theme. We got the high priestess, all right? The 5 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 10 of Swords. Again, carry over theme of somebody like casting a little glamour, working a little magic. I would think maybe love spell gone wrong with this 7 of Cups energy. Perhaps love spell that ended up creating confusion or obsession. Okay. Uh, could also be love spell to create confusion within another's relationship. All right. And there is some kind of loss here in this situation with the 5 of Cups that caused grief. Shows third party interference. 5 of Cups for me is always there's some kind of third party interference that got in the way of two being together, but there's some kind of opportunity on the other side of this ending. Tens, yeah, this is about as bad as it can get. All right, it's like stick a fork in it. It's done. It's an ending, and it's a painful ending. And I feel like it's a painful ending with somebody that you feel kept a lot of things secret from you. They had a lot of hidden secrets. There's a lot you feel like you don't know in this situation, but you intuit. This person, like they confused you. It's like head games all day, every day. This could very well be a very manipulative energy. And now I'm not just talking magically, but it's really interesting. There are heavy, strong themes of this coming out in your read, but it makes sense to me because Ophiuchus carries that Scorpio and that Sagittarian energy. So Scorpio very much deals with the occult. It's part of its house. The 8th house is about sex, death, transformation, and the occult. So I feel like there's been a lot of, kind of eighth house action going on in the situation you're dealing with. It could be possible with the Seven of Cups and the Five of Cups that somebody has a serious drinking problem in this situation and they have bottomed out. It's something that they were keeping a secret from everybody, but this secret is coming out. And it's very confusing sorting through all of it, also confusing going through the healing process and admitting the truth. This is something that kind of maybe came out in a way that was uncomfortable. um, I also feel like you feel that there's a lot of different stories coming in on this one, okay? It's also possible that you feel like somebody has been exploring their options, and they've been telling you that, it's just you, but you feel like they've been, kind of like connecting with other people. Maybe you have just recently found out that they are, and maybe the way you found out is kind of in sort of like a little bit of a shady way, like maybe you searched through their texts or searched through their social media or something like that, and you stumbled across something you weren't supposed to find. And now you're kind of like wondering, like, how do I address this? Because I'm not supposed to be snooping around in their stuff anyway. All right. So, I mean, but that brings forward something to look at. So I feel like there's some kind of third party interference in this situation. It could be a working that coming up very strongly just because it's been a theme, and also because we have, the high priestess here coming in pretty strongly. um, it's giving me these vibes. It's giving me this feel for real. I also feel like there's something you're not seeing. It's like this may have been very painful, what came to an end in this situation. I think what came to an end that's painful is the illusion, like you're like snapping out of it and you're seeing your situation for what it is, and whether that's you discovering you have an issue that you need to go and get support for, get in recovery for, or help somebody else get help for, or whether you realize that somebody really was playing false with you, or you're in some kind of narcissistic kind of dynamic. That could be possible too. I feel like you're really moving out of this energy, and doing what needs to be done to heal. You're through the worst of it, okay? You really are. I know it might not feel like it right now, but it can only go up from here. And there is love for you on the horizon. On the other side of those three spilled cups, there's two of cups there waiting for you, but requires you look forward. Okay. We got privileged lady here. All right. So, um, that's interesting. Ooh, and sudden wealth. What? Okay. Okay. This could be a situation too where you feel like somebody just used you for your money. Maybe you came into some money and they kind of took advantage of you. Or maybe they, maybe there's somebody that got some wealth from an inheritance. An inheritance came in, and all of a sudden, this person started kind of finessing you. That's what I'm getting, like finessing you, like working you. But you felt like it was just a glamour. You felt like it was just an illusion. You picked up what they were after. You could smell what they were stepping in. I feel like you didn't fall for it, man. I feel like you didn't fall for it. Hmm. I feel like you didn't fall for it. I feel like you cut it off. All right. So, looks like you're in a good place financially. Huh. I want to see a cut the deck on this. Toil and labor. Thoughts. We got toil and labor with thoughts. Toil and labor with thoughts. Again, there's that like trying to create confusion, trying to cast illusion, trying to cast an image. Because looking, he's kind of like he's taken in by the image, but it's just a picture. It's just an image. It's not the real person in front of him. I do feel like somebody wanted to really like confuse you, wrap you up in your thoughts, and you're breaking away from this energy. And if you haven't broken away from this energy, you should, because this energy has designs. It was 55 on the clock when I said that. Like this energy is disruptive. Okay, let's get an overarching theme. And I just realized I need to do an overarching theme for cuffed because I didn't. All right, so let's have this be an overarching theme for, interesting that I said cuffs. There might be like somebody who's married in the picture that's a third party, or they're stepping out on a marriage, right? For that to come in the way it did. Kind of interesting. Let's see here. Overarching theme. Ooh, both in reverse. Yeah, there's somebody you need to watch out for here. We got vampire, emotional intelligence. This is somebody who's draining you dry. It's in reverse. So I feel like you got this person's number and you've X'd them out. And we have hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. And it was also reversed. So I feel like this person was causing disruption in what was a happy home. They were causing division. Maybe you had to kick this person out of your home too. You're like, get out, get out. And once you got this out of the way, then there's something that comes into alignment for you. But this is a situation you should extricate yourself from it. And I would do some spiritual cleansing too. Get those spiritual cleansing baths in, because there's like all over this read for Ophiuchus, there's this kind of interfering sort of energy. And whether it's somebody just, putting bad vibes towards you because they're envious of you or they covet something that you got, or whether it's somebody actually doing workings, spiritual baths help cleanse that, smoke cleansing, things along these lines. And yes, I think that will be very good, very good. Okay. All right, cuffed. I want to get you your overarching theme. I didn't get an overarching theme for you, and I definitely want to get an overarching theme for you. Or did I? I don't know. I don't see one here. I don't see one here. But I thought the mummy came in. Maybe that was your overarching theme, or was that singles? It's interesting with this particular sign. I feel like all the piles are sort of like blending together. I think there's a lot of kind of intermingling going on with Ophiuchus, and they kind of got their hands in many different pots, and maybe it is creating a little kind of confusion, something to sort out, making things harder than they need to be to move forward, right? So let's see. Overarching theme for cup, overarching theme for cup, overarching theme for cup. Ooh, we got the apple. Risk and reward. All right. So going back to that, about feeling like you have to defend your relationship, might be third party interference, people coming at your person, or maybe you wanting to do something out of pocket, do something that's, challenging, other people, and they have an opinion about it. It's causing disruption. There's something bold that you're wanting to do here, perhaps, or there's a temptation. All right. This is really about you weighing up. Is the risk worth the reward in 2023? Only you can determine.